Hi, I'm Quentin Schultze, author of the book An Essential Guide to Public Speaking. An Essential Guide to Public Speaking. And I'm running through the different chapters in the book with this video series. Sometimes summarizing, sometimes focusing in on particular items with a little more elaboration than what I do in the book. Today, I'm talking about chapter 9. Talking about using online sources, doing online research, researching online. All of us assume that when we research our topic, our audience, we're going to do it partly online. There are other ways to do it. For example, going to a library, very important. In fact, we can search the library catalog for books or for articles. But online is the way most of us go. And it's also the way that gets us into the most trouble. Because anybody can put anything out there online. All kinds of goofy things. And the biggest problem is that people put things online that are designed to gain an audience. And they do that by telling people what people want to hear. So when we go out online, we are by default going to start paying more attention to those sources and that information that seems to affirm what we already believe, our existing bias. The internet runs on the basis of existing bias. We could call it confirmation bias, telling us what we want to believe because we already are inclined to believe it. So we have to be careful. We have to be quote unquote more objective than that. Objective not in the sense of avoiding any kind of assumptions or attitudes we have, in fact, life experience we have, but rather objective in the sense of not being pulled into something too quickly that we can't really validate as being accurate or true. So I thought I'd go over 3 points from the chapter, even though there's a lot more in there than this. The first is defining the topic. We research online in part to define what our topic is. What words shall we use to define a topic? If I'm talking about public speaking, what do I mean by that? So I define public speaking in terms of servant speaking, and then I define what I mean by servant speaking. Servant speaking is speaking in a way designed to serve the audience or to love the audience as our neighbor. Okay, and I tie it into that biblical tradition because I think it's a good thing to do. That's how I define it. So we want to define our topic. How can we do that? Well, one way we can do that is by going to Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia is not a great source to cite, but it does have authorities with credibility who contribute a lot of the material. The important thing about Wikipedia is that you can go in there real quickly and see how things are being defined. And so it can help you define the different points of view, perhaps, depending on the topic. And then use those links on the bottom of the page to additional resources to go from there. Second, finding the experts. Online, we have to find the experts. Let's call them the authorities, the ones who have the authoritative voice. They're the, if you will, the authors, the authorities of truth, wisdom, knowledge, information on a given topic. We look for those. Who are the people that are cited regularly? Who are the people that others seem to be looking to? Who are the ones that have a voice that others think they should listen to, or have written books that others seem to quote? So we have to figure out who the experts are. I can't cover this adequately in the video, but I want you to know it's critically important because we cannot assume that anybody online publishing anything about any topic is truly an expert. We have to be cautious. What we're after is credibility. We want to use sources out there where the people who are producing those have credibility. They're credible. They know what they're talking about. Why? Because then we have credibility. If we're using sources that don't have credibility, we will not have credibility. So we're looking online for the credible sources, the authorities, the experts. So we need to do online research in most cases, but we have to beware of that confirmation bias toward the material that just confirms what we want to believe, even though it might not be true. And we have to define our topic well. We can use something like Wikipedia to help with that, even though Wikipedia itself is not a great source. And we seek to find the experts by saying who else is looking to particular people as the experts on this topic. And then finally, we look for those sources that are credible sources, that they have credibility, so we have credibility too. That's what we want to do in our servant speaking. Do our online research carefully, not to fall into the pit of being taken in by those who are putting out information that's not true. Thank you.